Hey guys, Multichannel here, and welcome to my How to Add Custom Music to my Kart Wii video. You probably came from my homebrew channel video. If you didn't, and this is your first time here, welcome. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to just simply add music to Mario Kart Wii. If you've already got yours homebrewed and all that. So the requirements for this is, first of all, you gotta have a homebrewed Wii. Second of all, you've got to have already had CTGP Revolution installed. If not, I'll have a link to the website down below. I'll have the links to any programs and websites that I visit in this video down in the description, so you can download them and all that stuff. And for this instance, because of the newer version of Audacity I have, which that's one of the programs you're going to be using. It's on my laptop, that's why it looks different. But yeah, anyways, the programs you're going to need for this is Audacity, and you could use one called BrawlBox or BrawlCrate. Both of them are relatively the same. The only difference is that BrawlBox was made a long time ago and it's been abandoned, hasn't been updated at all. BrawlCrate is basically got a few little adjustments and updates on them, so I'll be using the Crate one. You can use BrawlBox if you want. The directions might differ a little bit, but they should give you the same exact product. But anyways, for this instance, besides that, actually, last time before I get started, you're going to want a SD card or micro SD card that has a minimum, I would say, of 32 gigabytes, especially if you're going to make a lot of modifications to Mario Kart Wii. And again, I bear no responsibility. If you brick your Wii or do anything like that, you're not going to be able to do that, but I'm going to say that just because. Anyways, for this instance, I got my micro SD card for my Wii. We're going to go ahead and plop that in. Now, I've already done this process, so, but I'll still go through it with you guys. Anyways, for this, we're going to go ahead and choose whatever song you like to replace for whichever track on Mario Kart Wii. For this instance, we're going to choose, and let me see what I'm thinking about it, because these are the ones I've already changed, so I'm just double checking to see which ones I want to change. Maybe an easy one, Mario and Luigi Circuit. So, in this case, now I've already done this, but I'll show you what to do. So, anyways, first thing you're going to do is, after you know what song you're going to use, you can download from YouTube, anywhere you want, you're going to open up Audacity. Now, as of this moment on February 15th of 2024, this is what it should look like. I made mine dark, but the options menu and the effects menu are going to look a little bit different if you're using an older version. Like the first time I tried recording this, I'm just starting this video out. So, I'm going to go ahead and import, and even though I've already done modifications to it, or actually, no, wait, let me get the original version of it. So, what did I say it was? It was Mario and Luigi. So, this is what the normal track looked like. So, by default, this is what it's going to sound like. On second thought, you gotta make sure your playback device is set to the right output, which in this case it's going to be the Elgato capture card that I'm using. Otherwise, it's not going to do it. Now, obviously, that's probably going to be just the right amount of volume. If the orange lines on this don't fill up the bars that much, you're going to want to make sure you select over here. As you can tell, now all that's selected. You're going to want to go to Effect, Volume and Compression, Amplify. And you'll have to make sure Allow Clipping is checked off. But you want to make sure those bars are almost expanded all the way to the top, where you're going to think they're probably going to be really loud to your ears, but it'll be just the right volume for the Wii, because of all the sound effects that are going to be in the way, kind of make it the sound of them not audible for everything else. So once you do that, so in this case I'm going to amplify it by 2, And I'm sorry for y'all's ears, so actually, let me make those adjustments on here. After you amplify it, you'll want to make sure, if you're going to loop it, you can do that. I've seen some other videos where they loop it. I just loop the whole track in there instead of having it loop, because I'm just going to have mine start from the beginning and then go all the way to the end, and then it'll just start all over again. But I like to make sure mine's smooth, so if you want to do that, you can always select like the first, let's say like first second. I'm going to go to effects, fading, and then fade in. So that didn't really do anything. So this is honestly where, see right there, I like to cut that off. So now, I could actually go in here and do that. Make it sound a little bit better when it comes in. Same thing goes for the end. But it's already done that, so once you got everything the way you want on your song after you edit some, you're going to go down here to export audio. After this, now I've seen something where it said the sample rate needs to be like at 32 or lower. I just left mine as is and all of them still play. Unless I come up with a problem with that, I'll make sure to update the description. Or I'll make a little update video too, or something like that. But anyways, I'm just going to leave all that as is. Now, I'm going to hit browse, because where I want to put it, obviously since this is for this one, normally I would have put it in there. I typed it, which part of the track this is going to be for. So the normal laps being lap 1 and lap 2, and then the final lap being lap 3. So we'll pretend I exported. We're just going to use the actual one I made before. So we'll hit save. It'll, after that, then you'll hit export. It'll start exporting it. And now before you close this out, we'll go ahead and work on the final lap. For the final lap, you can leave the final lap however you want. You can leave it the same. There's a website right here, Custom Mario Kart Wiki, and I'll put the links to these below in the description. So they had mentioned, like, if you want to make it as close as possible, like how the tracks sound in Mario Kart Wii, you'll want to do effect sliding stretch. So if we go up to effect, let's see, it was pitch and tempo, sliding stretch. So the only two things you're going to want to change, and this will be for any song you use, initial and final tempo change. Both of those need to be at 10%, and then the semitones both need to be 1. After that, come on, now. Now sliding stretch, they said, is going to be slower, but it makes the audio sound have better quality. That's what I did for all of them. Yes, it took maybe like 5 minutes to do, like, I think it was the Rainbow Road one I did, which is like 7 minutes long. I don't care, it sounds great. I'd rather it sound better and take longer than choppy and getting it faster. But anyways, you do that, then you'll export it again. So export audio, browse where you want to save it, then export, voila. So now that we got those, we're going to want to make sure that they are set to loop. So for this instance, you can close out of this now. So for this instance, you're going to want to open up BrawlCrate or BrawlBox. And before you do that, now that I think about it, where I have this, wherever you downloaded BrawlCrate from, you're going to want to right-click it, the .exe file, and go to Properties. Under Compatibility, you're going to want to check off Run this program as an administrator, Apply, and OK. Because it told me the first time when I opened it up that I need to do that, so it give it permission to, I forget what it was, to make the files properly. Otherwise, it won't do exactly what you want. So, now that we got that, let's go and open it up. Hit yes to allow it to run in administrator mode. Now that we're here, we're going to go to File, New, BRST Audio Stream. This is where you'll find that file that you just made from Audacity. I forgot to mention it has to be a dot wave, so you'll notice I put text on there already. But yeah, it's got to be a dot wave. Anyways, we're going to go to Mario and Luigi circuit, normal. So, you want to make sure that you check off loop right here. Otherwise, it's not going to loop and you'll just be sitting on the track without music if you decide to stay in there for who knows however long that is. Now, after that, you'll just hit play. And you can skip to the end, make sure it loops properly. So, perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. It's going to encode it. And at this point, once it encodes, we'll make sure it plays and loops again. Perfect. So it does exactly what I want. And because it's obviously, I'm assuming anybody knows what the difference between mono and stereo is, or surround. Well, stereo, 2 channels. The channels thing, that'll apply for my advanced video I'm going to make if you want to make the soundtracks a little bit better. So I'll make sure to have links to those to my homebrew channel and to the it's on the homebrew channel and the advanced video at the end of this. Yeah, anyways, after you do that, once we got it encoded and all that, we'll go to File, Save As. It's going to save it as a BRSTM file. And so you're probably wondering, what are you going to name it? You can go ahead and save it with this name, but in this case, before you hit save, I'm going to hit cancel. This is where that other website that I'll have a link in the description is going to be at. There's multiple ones of them. I just so happen to bring this one up out of the, I think, the 2 or 3 that I used before in the past. But this will give the names of what each of the music tracks will need to be called whenever you're putting it in the My Stuff folder on your SD card, which I'll show you where to put that in a minute. So, in this case, it's the Luigi circuit / Mario circuit. So they're going to be called in underscore circuit 32 underscore in. The in on the end of it is so that can play for lap 1 and 2. And I'll show you what to do for the other ones. So we're going to call it that. That's where you would go back to Files. Pretend I didn't just do that. File, Save As. You'll label it as, and you know what? I'm just going to do that because I accidentally. Okay, you know what? Let's pretend that this one is it. File, Save As. You're going to save it wherever you want to. You're going to call it in underscore circuit 32 underscore in dot BRSTM. Hit save. It'll export it. I don't remember if it'll take a few seconds or not. But yeah, after that, it'll be saved in the folder you made, which I completely just realized I forgot to mention that that's where I have a folder where I save all mine, and I have them sorted out just so I remember which one was which. And I highly recommend you do that just so you don't lose your place or forget, okay, what was this one for? Darn it, I'm just going to delete them and start them all over. You're going to save yourself some trouble in the long run. So, now that you got that one on there, let's worry about the final track. We'll go through the same thing. So we'll open up. You don't have to close BrawlCrate. It does the same thing if you do File, close like I accidentally did. So we're going to do File, New. We're going to open up the final lap one. Check off the loop button. Okay, so that works. Well, I better make sure. Perfect. We're going to hit OK. Did I give us the right name now that I think about it? Yeah, I did. For some reason, my brain was thinking Coconut Mall. So, now that you got that on there, we're going to make sure. Perfect. Once you get that done, you're going to do File, Save As. Now, instead of an in on the end of it, you're going to do in underscore circuit 32. And make sure you capitalize the letters exactly how they're labeled. I forgot to mention that. Underscore F. So instead of underscore in, it's underscore F for final lap. So then you'll save that into whatever folder you have all your edited songs in. After you do that, now the only thing left to do is copy them over to the SD card. So, to make this easier, I'm going to have my SD card open up in another window. So, assuming you already have the custom track Grand Prix CTGP Revolution channel installed, on the root of your SD card, there should be a CTGPR folder. Inside of that, you're going to open up the My Stuff folder. If there isn't a My Stuff folder, go ahead and create one. Make sure you capitalize each word. I'm going to open that up. I've already got them in here, so we're going to pretend that I just copied these two from the folder I made over into the My Stuff folder. So, there's those two right there. Now the only thing left to do is to turn on the Wii and make sure it works properly. So, I'll see you guys in just a second. Hey guys, so now that you put the SD card back in the Wii, and sorry for the bad lighting, and we're going to go ahead and go to the CTGP Revolution channel, wherever my remote is. So there's a few settings you're going to want to make sure are turned on or off, at least for this video anyways. There's another setting I'll tell you that you should turn on. Oh my gosh, I accidentally hit the switch on it. Woo! Are you kidding me? I hate whenever this happens. Okay. So even though I barely tapped the little switch on the side of the SD card, apparently it considered it locked. Anyways, once you get this loaded, we're going to head over to Settings. Custom tracks, yes, especially if you want to modify something like that in the future. The My Stuff folder, you want to make sure that's on. Save game on SD card, I'm going to say no. I don't know what other instance you could have that helping with, but yeah. You could turn on Draggable Blue Shells or Speedometer if you want. If you go to the next page, automatic updates you definitely want on, so I would definitely check back often, otherwise you're going to be spending an hour at least for like 2 updates. I think it's like 20 minutes for 1 update or so, even if you download the files from the website. Now for this video, you need to leave automatic BRSTM patching turned off, or sorry, turned on. For the next video, for the advanced video, that's when you'll turn it off, because at that moment then you'll need to worry about getting a file, blah blah blah. Anyways, other than that, you get to hit B to save, and now we can launch the game. Now, I just loaded this earlier. Now, the first time I did this, there was no update, so there better not be any updates. Thankfully, I don't think there is. I'm just gonna run the track, I guess. I don't know if I can very well with one hand, but I'll give it a try and see. I'll make no promises this will be good content. Let's see if I can do it. Dun, 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 dun. Without me falling off my bed, off my rolling chair that I'm standing on. I could have just sat on my bed to do this, but I'm gonna choose 150, obviously. And automatic because I'm using one hand. So let's just choose the Luigi circuit. Luigi circuit and Mario circuit, apparently I didn't know, share the same file name, so they're gonna have the same track. And because I just want to test this out, we're gonna do solo time trials and watch how horrible I am with one hand. I do like There's one thing I like that they did on Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was basically anybody who has a disability can actually play it. So as you guys can tell, the audio sounds just right. I can hear it over any of the background sound effects. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. I forgot what it was like to drive with automatic mode. Can I make it? So basically, 20 minutes is about all you need, or a little bit less than that. But it doesn't take that long to add custom music. Okay. Well, I could show you guys the third lap if I can hurry up and get it through. Which way can I do it on this? I want to see if I could. Oh, view backwards. That is not a good idea. Ah, oh, darn it. Yeah, of course, I know I wasn't going to be able to get it. Yeah, not that bad. At least there's no CPUs chasing after me. Now, if I stayed on the track long enough, it would loop it all the way through. So, there you go. That's how you do it for whichever track you're going to put a track on. The rest of the things I forgot to mention, so let me go back. I'll meet you guys back over to my computer. Especially, well, I'll go over more detail. I'll see you guys over there. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention is that first of all, if you scroll down far enough on the wiki.talkdom.com website of the first link, or just if you go to that link right here, if you scroll down far enough under where it says Multichannel and BRSTM making, first of all, that's what my advanced video is going to be over. But even just for this video, if you're just putting audio, if you're just putting music on there, you'll still want to make sure that, what was it? I'll show you there's these files you want to download, because if you replace the tracks for Toad's Factory, Wario's Gold Mine, Koopa Cave, Dry Ruins, Moonview Highway, or Bowser's Castle, they will stop when you go into certain areas because they're more than just two channels, more than a stereo, because they switch back and forth. What you want to do is, I'll leave a link to this in the description. Again, on this website, there's one that's called Microwave but no sound triggers. Maybe this person called Sergio Jimenez Alcaraz. But anyways, on those specific tracks, he modified the tracks and took out what he's calling the sound triggers, where it will, like if you don't modify anything for Toad's Factory and you exit out of the factory, it's going to start the music over, which I didn't like. So basically, he has a zip file to it. If this ever gets taken down on this link right here, I'll upload it to my media file and a zip file for you guys to download. But anyways, what you'll do is, whenever you unzip it, they will come in these .szs files. All these files right there, those will fix the no sound trigger. So you'll just copy all of those, not the text file, copy them over there to the My Stuff folder, the same place that you modified your music with. Anyways, once you get that done, then you can put it back in. No sound triggers, especially for those. Now, if I'm remembering right, I'll go and show you guys really quick, because I forgot to mention that too. If you decide to do Toad's Factory, for instance, same process as before, except you don't just put it into Audacity. Here's the process. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So we're going to do Toad's Factory. Let's go back to Audacity. Minimize that for a minute. So what you're going to do, we're going to choose an MP3 track that we're going to put in to Toads Factory to replace it. So we're going to go over to import audio. And let's see, where's the Toads Factory one? There we go. So this is the unmodified version that I made. I gotta double check and see how much I modified mine. Did I amplify? How much did I amplify it by? Okay, by 2. So that's what I did. I amplified it by 2. So obviously, because there's a little bit of dip everywhere, first of all, I'm gonna go there. Gonna cut that off. Gonna make it all the way. Now, Toads Factory is weird because for the first 6 seconds, you don't ever get to hear the first 6 seconds of the music. My assumption is you could probably try and add 6 seconds of blank space in front of it. Or in other words, what I mean is like grabbing this and moving it, which I don't remember which one this is. Ah, there we go. Okay, that could work. So maybe like that might work, but I don't care right now. I'm just gonna leave it as is like this. So after we amplify it by about 2, because now it should be loud enough, and what you're gonna do now, and you're going to be doing this on this video and if you decide to do the advanced one. But you're going to have to make multiple .wav files for this. But you only need to export it once. So you'll just right click anywhere over here on the track. You'll go over to split stereo track. It's going to put it into 2 of them. Consider it mono. So we'll just delete one of those. So now we've got a mono track. So now, at this point, we're going to still export audio. We're going to go over to, I believe it's just mono. Yeah, just mono. You just change it to mono. Now, you're going to need to do it this way for whenever you're combining them together. So, I forgot what I had just said because I had to go back and check some. So, at this point, you're going to do export, export audio or other, whatever it said. Once you get to here, you'll choose channels mono. And what you're going to want to do, as long as you're using this website right here, as long as you're using this as a reference, it'll tell you how many channels the track needs. So for Toads Factory is one of the ones that needs 4 channels. So we'll be labeling it, I would just label it as a number 1. And obviously once you get that done, you'll export the files one by one. Or no, sorry, you'll export just one of them. Call it 1.wav. That's where you'll save it. You'll hit export. So now that you got one, you can close this out. Because that's simple. So if we go back to Toads Factory again, like I said, there's only 4 tracks. So how this works again is, before you go to BrawlCrate, there's another program which I'll be using this a lot in my advanced video, especially for figuring something else out. But what you'll want to do, because say for Toads Factory, the instant you go inside the factory, the main factory area, the audio is just going to stop because there's no other track for it to switch to. 2 channels, 2 channels. So with this, we're going to open up, it's called the Multi-Stream BRSTM GUI. Now I had learned, this kind of applies to this, but mostly applies to the other one, that somebody made a video on it that explained how to use it 14 years ago. That's why I'm going to be making the other video on how to use this. But the main thing on how to use this right here is wherever you downloaded this to. So in this case, if I go to here. I saved it in a folder elsewhere. Did I actually? Oh well. Either way, so right here, there's going to be a folder called wave, TMP, and out. The wave folder is going to be where you're going to open up that wave folder, and you're going to copy over all of these wave files right here. You're going to paste them over here, and just so I can show you the process, I'm just going to say video, just so we know where they exported it at. So now that we got those, while this is open, we're going to go to 4ch for 4 channels. After that, we're going to want to loop it. So while this is open, you'll open up BrawlCrate, because it needs to know the amount of samples that you're going to put in it. So we're going to do new stream, and if we go back to Toad's Factory, so the amount of samples it has. Now, because I'm using the whole song and I'm not looping in until the very end, your amount of samples will differ. So I'm going to go over here. You have to type it in. You can't just copy and paste. But you got to make sure you get all of it right. Oop. Now let's see. 153.64542. So after that, you will need to output the name of the file. So in this case, if you copy the name from the website, it's going to end up being this one. So we're going to call it strm_in_factory _in for the normal app. And you'll do this same process again for the final app. But other than that, you'll do build batch file. So if I do build batch file, if I'm remembering right, okay, so yeah, it'll make a file called build.bat. Once you open that up, it's going to start putting a text file of each of the amount of wave files you have. It'll just copy that every time it gets done with the next one. So there you go. So now we got 2. Once it's all done, I don't remember if the command prompt, PowerShell, terminal window, whatever you want to call it, whichever one of these is a terminal of mine. So once it's done, those text files will disappear, and your finished product, your BRSTM file, will show up in the out folder. There you go. So feel free to X that out. You can X out of that. I X'd out of it too early. How dare I? Alright, ignored that. Let's do that again, shall we? So wait until it's fully completed. Like I was saying, don't listen to me, but listen to me. You know. Gotta wait for it to get fully done. So ignore the fact that that thing is still on. Turn that off. Okay, so I'm going to wait till this is completely done. So there you go. It will close itself. So once it's completely done, it'll delete its text files, and you'll have your finished product right here. One way to double check this, which, by the way, once you download BrawlBox or BrawlCrate, I didn't mention this before, if you right click these files, because it'll probably have a piece of paper, you can hit Properties, Opens with, Change. You might have to manually search for it, so choose an app on your PC. Wherever you downloaded BrawlCrate or BrawlBox to, you just select that, hit Apply, and OK. So, I'm going to open this up, and we're going to check a BrawlCrate. And great, it detects 4 channels. So, one way you can check this. String 2. So perfect. Now it works properly. So now once you copy that finished file back over to your SD card, then voila, you got your track fixed. So other than that, I don't think I missed anything besides the fact that I did say you'll want to, if you do modify any of those tracks on here, you'll definitely want to first of all, ignore the fact that it said where you have to make your song shorter. You don't have to do that. I'll definitely put a link to Kart Wii but no sound triggers and to this, where you could download the file from. And if that ever goes down someday, like I said, I'll upload it to my MediaFire. But, anyways, sorry, I've already kept you guys long enough. That's how it works. I promise you it works. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments section below. If there's something I don't think I'm going to be able to answer, I'm going to still have the link to the Reconnect24/WeLink Discord server. I think it is officially renamed to WeLink now, but they took over Reconnect24. Anyways, if you'd like to go ahead and hit the like button, let me know you guys want me to do videos like this more often, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you guys can notify when I upload new videos or when I do live streams, especially the Mario Day live stream on March 10th, my annual live stream. So, after that, all I can say is, thank you so much for watching my video. Bye-bye!